this game ends up going the distance here, simply Welcome to game number 3, ladies and gents, between our two Zerg heroes. The map chosen is Overgrowth. The scores are currently tied up 1-1 in this best of 9. Spawning in the top right-hand position, ladies and gents, is the red Zerg player representing Acer. We have Bly. His opponent spawning in the bottom left-hand position as the yellow Zerg playing for team mYinsanity. We have none other than Petraeus. Now, Petraeus is going to be going for the hatch first once again, as in game 1. He went pool first alongside Bly in game number 2, guys. And the reason this is significant, especially in a mirror matchup now, is because, well, to be perfectly frank, if you're doing exactly the same thing as your opponent and you end up winning the game, it always feels really, really good. And for a lot of game number 2, that's exactly what Petraeus was doing. You had Zerglings and Banelings sort of skirmishing out in the middle of the field, and as soon as Bly went, okay, I'm going to try and transition into Mutalisks now, Petraeus went, oh, no you don't. Flung his gas into a Roach Ward instead, piled on a crap ton of Lings. That's a metric crap ton, if anyone's wondering whether that was metric or imperial. And was able to win the game. So that's not going to be feeling too good for Bly. But his early game Mutalist did win him game number 1. And we can see he's already mining gas. And we may well... Oh, sorry, this is Petraeus, rather. And Bly may well go for a situation where he actually just grabs all 4 of his gases reasonably early on and goes for that early layer again and says, right, well, the way I won the first game, I'd like to win the third game as well. Let's find out if that ends up being the case. Every time I look at this, I think it's like a collapsed energy sword from Halo. I don't know if you guys see the same thing, but I totally see that as an energy sword. Someone needs to go and pick this up and absolutely boss mode the map with it. That would be imbalanced as hell, and, well, I'd still like to watch it, so I don't care. For now, though, not too much that's different between the two sides even. Bly does have the earlier gas, as you can see. He's got 100 right now, but that's only because we had speed start ever so slightly earlier. So Petraeus now about a quarter of the way through that, and we see no ultra early, super quick extra gases just yet. We're at about the 5-minute mark now, so I'd say within the next minute or two we should be looking at seeing what these players have in mind for their mid games here. At least one of these Zerglings is going to die to the Queen harassment, and ooh, actually that Baneling nest was produced, okay, just out of sight, literally just out of sight there, and Petraeus is actually stopping this Overlord from coming in as well. Now, why is he doing that? It's because this Baneling nest, he wants to hide from Bly, and he wants to be able to absolutely stream in with potentially a lot of aggression. Bly is Zergling speed 2/3 of the way down now, but notice that there was no sign of a Baneling nest, and Petraeus sees this as well. He's got a Zergling basically patrolling his base. Bly won't be seeing this Baneling nest for a little while. This Overlord retreated to the 3rd. This one is quite far away, so Petraeus has some potential prep time. But at the same time, Bly's producing 12 Zerglings right now. He's pooling an awful lot of them, and he's got a Roach Warren behind this too. Now, Petraeus is going to see this almost instantly as soon as they go. Here we go. Petraeus sees this massive swarm of Lings. Let's see what the reaction is. 18 Lings of his own right now, and he's got Banelings as well. This should be fine. Without Roach support, I'm not sure he can do much about it. This Zergling has now seen the Baneling nest, and he's gone, oh, I see. This could be a little bit difficult. Now, we have Ling on Ling action here, but with Banelings in the mix as well, unless something goes catastrophically wrong, oh my god! Or catastrophically right, Petraeus annihilates! Absolutely annihilates this Ling force from Bly, and Bly has got to be in a little bit of trouble now. It looks like a lone Baneling tried to take some workers out, unable to do so at the moment. And they will successfully get taken out before they do too much damage, managing to pop a larva in the process, but here come the Lings, here comes the counter-attack, and is this going to be too much? Bly basically is out of units to defend. He's using the Roaches to come down the ramp right now, but even just denying the mining time is great. He's moving away with the Zerglings and Banelings. He's saying, look, you're just not going to mine from your natural until I feel like it right now. A lot of lost mining time from Bly. Petraeus, in the meantime, he's got his Roach Ward about halfway done. His layer's also about halfway done. Bly is starting his, but he is definitely behind right now. He's behind by a couple of drones, 31 to 34, but more importantly, Petraeus simply has map control right now. Yes, these Roaches should now be able to beat these Lings in a straight-up fight, but they're not that mobile, and he really needs to be careful about run-bys. And I say that, I'm not actually sure that would beat the Lings in a straight-up fight. With the Ling support, he would, but on their own, actually, I'm not that confident right now. And we have Petraeus just hiding out on the right-hand side of the map, looking to see what he wants to do. He sees that the Lings are coming in via the third base location thanks to his Overlord, and he is coming back to defend. It's not going to be a problem for him whatsoever. Roaches are on their way as well, and another Ling force gets taken out from Bly. The army supply is 26-20 in favor of Petraeus, and this game is definitely not won. ZVZ, oh my goodness how volatile it is. I could not begin to tell you, but a lot of viewers will completely agree that it is just like that. However, it is still really useful and really important when you do have that advantage in the early game. You can see here, the third base, Petraeus is going to feel an awful lot more secure about taking this, whereas Bly's going to be a little bit sweating, to be honest, because he can't really move out on the map and be aggressive. His units are mainly roaches, and let's see if we can pick off a couple of workers here. That looks to be a whole position by the looks of things going on from Petraeus here. A couple of workers going down very, very quickly indeed. We're actually up to 17 and 18 workers killed right now, and that isn't good. The natural expansion looks okay, but the main base looks somewhat devastated. A grand total of, let me go ahead and count that, 18 workers have been killed this game, and it's 29-49 workers in favor of Petraeus right now. This is not looking happy for Bly at all. Happy meal or not, his Overseer is going to be scouting out inside the main base of Petraeus, but our mYinsanity player is basically just in a really comfortable position. Most of the pro players out there, and any that are watching the stream, would basically say, look, Petraeus is expected to win from this position. Yeah, you might be expecting him to win, but Bly doesn't have a 0% chance of winning, basically. And that's really why this game is still going on. Another hidden Baneling attack here actually increases the worker kill count to 22, and Bly just not really paying attention to hidden Zerglings inside his base after those run-bys. Petraeus has done a fantastic job of that so far this game. And that's why he's now pulling ahead in supply off of that economic advantage. He hasn't bothered going to try and take out this third base yet. He just wants to slowly consolidate his forces and overwhelm his opponent with numbers. He's got 1.5 times the army supply right now. It's 40 versus 61. And these roaches are basically what Petraeus is hoping that will end the game. And a couple of these roaches dividing and conquering actually the forces from Bly, picking off what is defending the third base before the reinforcements from the natural can get there. This isn't good. A queen also running away. She's not going to get much done. Divide and conquer is the name of the game here, and Petraeus is doing it beautifully well. He's now moving back towards the third base. Bly isn't going to be able to get a pincer movement in, picking off a lone Baneling there as well. That was possibly destined to explode at the third base location. Petraeus now ahead 142 supply to 107. Upgrade situation, we can see the +1 is about halfway done here for Bly, but Petraeus already has it complete, and he's starting on the +2 attack and +1 armor as well. This is such a difficult position for Bly to play, because in almost every department, in fact, in every department, Petraeus is just ahead right now. There's no compensation, there's no imbalance where you say, well, actually, I have this tech and you don't. It's roach on roach, where our mYinsanity player simply has an advantage in upgrades, and he's got an advantage in workers as well. It's now 61-47, and we're very soon going to be approaching a point where this game might start snowballing if Petraeus chooses to go aggressive. Bly has to be the reactive player right now. What he's looking for is an engagement, maybe through the middle here or something like that, where he's able to either pincer the army of Petraeus, or he's able to get a ridiculously good engagement some other way, so that when this engagement happens, he can basically even up the supply. But he has to overturn a swing of nearly 50 supply from this point, and it's going to be very, very difficult for him to do that. He's researching at the moment. Tunneling Claws, that's going to be interesting, because what he's going to try and do with this, I suspect, is burrow off his roaches so that he can try and get a much, much better surround. Is it even going to matter, though, with the supplies being this different? Petraeus is now moving out towards a third base location. These roaches have a +1 armor about to complete as well, so he's very temporarily going to have a 2 upgrade advantage, and I don't think it's enough time. Tunneling Claws is not complete yet. Petraeus is saying, my time is now. The supplies are 197-130. GG! And mYinsanity's Petraeus takes game number 3 to move 2-1 up in the hot seat.